service. Seeking, to work for Weedville, I think. Really. Sure, this is.
All right, all right.
The Republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. We come to you this time to thank you for your guidance that you provide us, your wisdom, your strength you provide us to do the work we need to do on behalf of our community and our neighbors. We ask, just as I heard from the Cedar Grove pastor this weekend, that you help us work towards being godly creatures and doing things in the right way, in a compassionate way, in the way that serves all. We thank you for all you do each and every day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Anybody had a chance to look at the January 8th minute? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead and do that. Commissioner Meadows is not present. Mayor Jones, present. Commissioner Coder.
Here.
Commissioner Brown.
Here.
And Commissioner Perry.
Yes.
Thank you all. Now, has anybody had a chance to look at the January 8th? I have.
They look good to me. Anything down?
I said the same thing that we have brought up previously. I guess this last page, instead of in pursuant to, it should say in pursuant of, or whatever, pursuant of,
Return to is good.
it is.
The pursuit to is good, but she's talking right here. It says improved pursuit of.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we have one of them, right?
That might just be like a saved document or something. It might create a wording maybe. You delete that if it's what's doing that.
Where do you see it?
The very last page where you have going to executive session highlighted.
Mine says pursuant to.
No, the title, but look below.
It says pursuant to.
There's not an in.
In pursuit. Pursuit is, I got to chase something.
Never mind.
Pursuing is
Yeah.
requires that.
Yeah, that's one of them, mine.
Okay.
Chase.
I've been looking at too many.
Okay, so anything else other
I don't have anything.
That's good.
so can we get a motion to accept them with that modification?
Motion that we accept the January 8th minutes with the one change of in pursuant to, or in pursuit to pursuant to. Yeah, it's been one of their weeks
Okay,
already.
okay.
I'll second.
All those in favor? You guys have an update on the merging of the bank accounts? I'm trying to make sure that I can get rid of CTV, and I figured we probably needed to make it a motion to consolidate and go down to general fund and ABC. Okay.
We're trying to merge these, the banks at Pick People's Bank, instead of each department having an individual account. It's gonna be merged into one general fund so that our QuickBooks can do what it's supposed to do.
They will
But
all
it's
still
still
have,
its own.
they'll all still have an account, but in order for, and this may be a good conversation for Melissa too, in order for it to work in QuickBooks like they would like it to work.
Like having that limitation, it only sees so many accounts.
Yes. If they need to, I guess, funnel it all to the general fund and
Pretty much the way that it's supposed to work is that it shows how much, we know how much we budgeted, and we can actually show how much has been spent in each department. So how much you have, what we've been talking about that we want the whole time.
But you're not talking about getting rid of the Cliff
No,
account and.
no, we're not talking about getting rid of any.
ABCs.
It's, no, we're not talking about getting rid of any accounts, it's just more, I guess, the way that the account would function in QuickBooks. Or in QuickBooks, rather, does that make sense?
It's in the dashboard of the bank. So the bank goes out every month and connects to QuickBooks and pulls in all the transactions, which is what you wanted to do. That way you're not dependent on somebody putting a transaction in. And they do their bank recons every month. But the limitation, we even had it with the other bank. When it goes out to pull, it will only pull what's on that front page. And we have so many accounts that there were accounts that weren't getting pulled. So I think that's what they're doing. They're just figuring out a way to do that.
That's correct, yeah, what they have told us is that we can set it up under the general funds account.
Mhm.
And the budget will pull from that general funds for each category. So it will show mayor, it will show parks and rec and so forth, then it'll all come out of that general account. And the only other account we'll have is an ABC.
Well, let me look at that because
Yeah.
I want to make sure like just we have different accounts and we have a way now in QuickBooks, you'll see it tonight, to do our budget. So we now have budget reports that she can pull anytime because we went back and classified every transaction to a class, which is the way to get it to do that. So now we can do that. Yeah, and I went back and confirmed every transaction for this fiscal year has been classified. There are none missing. And I showed them a report, so every month they can go through and see if there's one that we missed, because it is easy to do. Classified, go and classify it, fire, or whatever it goes. So we'll be able to do it, but I think that's probably the limitation is more on the bank side.
Right.
But I just want, we're not gonna combine it into a general fund, because it would be more difficult to pull it back out, I would think.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't think it's actually I don't think it's a combining of an account necessarily. I think it's more of
The way it's full.
The way it's linked.
Okay. So with that being said, Melissa? Oh, yeah.
Did anybody have personal issues?
We can't.
Oh, there's a special meeting. I
No,
can't do that.
Scratch that.
Never mind. Melissa?
You're up.
All right, so in your package, you should have this first as just a summary of the filing. So I just wanted to kind of go over that as where we are. This just shows you, what's required of us. Right now, we're still on the 6/30/2025. The city official update has been completed. We're now into the audit. The due date of that is March. I think we'll be able to meet that, no problem. We've been working on it. We're just waiting for a few external letters that I have to get. Joe, I sent you a request for disclosure.
Okay, yeah.
So I need that letter. So there's a few external letters that I'm waiting on, and then I gave the ladies a client list, so they're pulling the documentation for the audit. And then the UFER's UFER's been filed, and then we'll get into this fiscal year. And so that's kind of, just to let you know kind of where we were. We're on track. Everything's filed. We even got a confirmation back from the state when we did our officials update that nothing was passed through. And what it is every other year you have to do the audit. Every year you have to do the UFER, which is the United Financial Information Report. Or Universal, whatever you say. Any questions on what's expected? The audit letter, I think I sent, is to just sign the.
That's what I was just telling her, I needed to find out.
Yeah, and what the audit letter is, y'all should read that. Basically, it just states what my responsibilities are and what your responsibilities are, and the clerk's just making sure your numbers are right, and I'll go in and audit and make sure that they're right. Just kind of talks about that and how I'll issue the report. What you wanted to see is the budget. So, and I'm open to any feedback on the report itself. This is pulled from QuickBooks, so I'm limited a little bit, but there might be some things that we can do. So you have here kind of your budget versus actual, like the first page is the general fund. So, and like I said, what we've discovered is that we can, every transaction, if it's coded to a class, will pull appropriately here. So no matter what account it comes out of, let's say all of a sudden we messed up and we deposited an econ into the general fund, we don't have to move money around. We can go back and do that bank reconciliation and code it correctly the first time, and then look at our transfers coming up for budget. So the first is by quarter, and you'll have your income first and then your expenses. So each quarter, July, September, October, December, and I even pulled up until, last week, the date we were gonna meet last week. That's everything till then, so it should be very recent. And then that total column kind of has your total budget. So this is what it is year to date, plus what your total budget number is. You can see what's remaining. So you kind of, the way it breaks it out, which we can manipulate, like if we know something's coming out in a certain quarter, or we get a certain payment, we can go in there and do it that way, because right now it's just kind of dividing it, right? If we have 50,000 coming in, it's gonna divide it by 12 and put it each month. So that we can kind of compare like we used to, a percentage of how far we've come. So in looking at general fund, and I'm just gonna kind of go through here really quick. You can see, this is income coming in. So total budget for the year, we had budgeted 533,500. You see that the last column under total under budget. I'm just gonna look at that first, get you acclimated. And then actually we're at 487,070. So remaining, we still have about 46,000 remaining to come in. But what that's telling you is that you're actually brought in more money than we budgeted for. So that's good, right? We've actually budgeted for certain amounts coming in, and you'll see line by line which ones we've kind of brought in more money than we budgeted for. So that's on the income side. And then it's just each line, franchise fees, tax, all the different ones and how they're coming in. Make sense? Okay. Then we get to expenses. So it's kind of the opposite, but very similar. You've got your total budget. So you can see, I'll just look at that first one. So advertising and marketing for general fund, we've budgeted 2,000. We're at 1760.07. So we have 239.93 remaining. So that's for the rest of the year in advertising and marketing. And each of these two, we can get into QuickBooks and click on it very quickly to see what's making up those numbers. So if something looks odd, each budget period, you should print these and just say, oh, that looks odd, you know, and she can pull the details for what's underneath them. Dale, do you have a question?
Well, I guess I want to say this before we get too far into this, we spent some time with the budget stuff, and we all said we didn't want to be in the shape the past two commissions were. And we all agreed that the way to do it was streamline, make sure we can watch what we're spending. You know, and I brought the examples of charted accounts. We all agreed to do it like this. Instead of, as you're talking about compounding things in there, then you have to look into it for our sake, for us to look at and see what's really spending. It's just doing it this way, we're still not seeing what we're spending. And we've got some things that kind of conflict with each other in this format. I'll give you an example. So in City Hall, under utilities, it lists charge, well, it doesn't list, I had to add up all the figures to figure out where we're getting that total cost. So the total 11,882, if we go by this type of format, is Charter and Spectrum, Georgetown Municipal Water, propane, KU for City Hall, KU for storage, pest control, safe and sound security. All that's in utilities. When you go to utilities for police department, it's Charter, Spectrum, KU, Verizon, pest control, and safe and sound is not utilities. I can't even find it actually, this is where we even paid it. And then if you go to the fire department, utilities is KU, Georgetown Municipal, propane, pest control. But their phone and their charter is in a separate thing called fire communications. We're in the same book as we were with the last commissions. We really can't see where these things are.
So you're classifying all the transactions as their subclass with exactly what it is.
No, they're categories, but kind of the way he's talking about. For fire and police, we break out certain items that we do want to watch. So if you want a specific line item like fire communications, that's why we put the phone there, because we wanted to watch that more than just lumping it in utilities. So you could have, instead of utilities, you could have gas and water and electric and phone. You could break them all out for everybody. It's just, what do you need to watch? And so for general fund, we do lump more into it because it's not as used. Communications here, the phone system, you know, not what the police and fire have for communication. So that's really the history of why it's different across the different funds. Some funds want to focus on something more than the others, and we have that flexibility.
And early on, we talked about, we wanted a chart of accounts that showed you everything, because when we started looking and started adding things, we realized that the last commissions weren't seeing what they were really spending. Like another example, you know, in this one, and I don't know where it comes from. It says that job supplies account budget by this says $8,000, but we only approved $6,200 in supplies.
Well,
So-
I'm with you on this. I think that another big thing that goes along with this too, though, is that we've not had somebody in here that knows how to use it.
Part of the count.
And I don't, no offense,
Yeah.
no offense to you, but we've not had somebody in City Hall that knows how to use QuickBooks.
Well, it's a little bit, I mean, the chart of accounts is what was set up when we first did QuickBooks.
Yeah, it was early on.
We had about 5,000 chart counts to do exactly what you're saying. And it's easier to have more fraud and more mistakes when you have so many accounts. So that's
Right.
why we went back and said, okay, let's really evaluate what we need and not have so many.
But under each one of these accounts, you can do a drill down.
Yes.
So if you wanna see what,
Well, there's none
Those
of
utilities.
these line items is the chart accounts. They're not combined accounts.
but,
So like,
but in QuickBooks, I mean, I don't know what our version is, but
It'll
in
let you do
QuickBooks, all I have to do is double click on utilities and it'll pull up every single
yes,
utility.
but it's not gonna, what I'm saying is, you said chart of accounts. So every account we have in the chart of accounts is on this budget.
Right,
It's just what we
Yes.
put in that account.
we're talking
Yeah.
vendor.
Yeah.
And that's what we talked about, and we said we want to create a larger chart of accounts, and here's the reason why, yes, about fraud and misuse, but the problem is, we've got new clerks. Back then, 7 years ago, we had clerks that knew, okay, this falls into this broad category, this falls in this broad category. We have clerks that need specifically detailed, it's gotta come from here, because here's the issue. We're gonna be past our budget, because we specifically said where we're gonna spend in certain areas. And I'll just go on and put this out there. This is what we published. This is what we published. This, so in general fund, we appropriated, and the statute was published, the ordinance was published, we appropriated $257,756. You look at this, it says we budgeted $301,000, a difference of 43. We did not budget $301,000. If you look at streets, by this, we budgeted $40,679. If you look at this, we budgeted somehow $47,230. The numbers are way off.
Well, stop just a moment, please. They're way off because I have the last worksheet that I got from, I mean,
And I'm
I'm
not
just
saying
saying they
you.
can be changed. I have the last worksheet that I had, which I thought matched the ordinance. So if your worksheet matches the ordinance, all you gotta do is give me a copy of that and we'll go in and update
This was
that.
the second for
The budget is a manually inputted thing from the last worksheet that I had from the last meeting that we had. So that's just
Yeah.
we can fix that very, very quickly. All I'm saying is, if you want to change this, you need to tell me as your fund. So mayor tells me for general fund, you tell me for fire fund, you tell me for police, what you do want broke out, and we can do that. That is very, very simply done.
I honestly think that's the only way we're gonna make sure that we don't overspend, because some of the numbers I added in here, but things I know have occurred already, these aren't right. We're way further past our half-year budget right now. I mean, just if you add all these things, our total appropriated was $792,330. By this stuff here, it's saying our total budget is gonna be $836, which is $44,000 over. And what alarms me more, it wasn't like we gave everybody money, we actually took away from fire again. And that's kind of why I got upset and came tonight, why I took off work to come, because we budgeted $100,854, and now somehow it's back down to only $88,854. Again, fire's getting somehow, because we're not following these and following where exactly we're spending detail. I mean, yes, if we had a perfect, years of experience and people that follow it all the time and us not having other day jobs and having to work, and we could trust that it's working, so be general. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for them to come in and audit us. I mean, it's a lot easier than going up at general things. But we're in the same spot.
Would you have something to say?
I just was gonna address the charter spectrum for the police, and they get one bill and they divide it in half.
And we talked about it in the budget, so we divided it in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
Again, I didn't see any major overages in what I had, even with it being maybe less. You just need to tell me, and that's what the audit letter says, like, it's your responsibility to make sure these are right. So you have to look at them and say, this is not the right budget number, and then tell me, this is, because whatever I had is the last worksheet, which had the detail. right? We had this Excel worksheet that everybody's detail. And then I thought I looked at the last ordinance.
I think that's the problem though. This is the first time that we've gotten anything like this
6 months in.
Yes.
And,
since you, yeah.
you know, even to take away the telephone game, if we do the chart of accounts, the clerks on their days down there can go in and put the exact budget amount that we set aside. I mean, these amounts. The one that scared me the most, I was like, oh my gosh, did we just talk about this? You know, we budgeted like $27,500 for code enforcement. By this, we only budgeted 15,000. And yes, we can go back and amend, but you know, that's scary if we let that play into how we're running this and how we're spending the money. If we did the chart of accounts like we all agreed upon,
But how did that get so off? Because
I don't know.
we gave her, I mean, she's going by what we gave her.
I don't know. She got this, this came from the very last email we sent out.
Yeah, that's,
So I don't know how the
That's,
number.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know how it can be that off because she's, all she can go by is what we gave
I
her.
think it's here and there things, like,
I think there was another meeting perhaps after, maybe I didn't get the last copy. But what you have to go by, Dale, too, is that worksheet has to match the ordinance that we issued.
and it doesn't. It doesn't.
And the ordinance is the final budget.
That's what I went by with this today. When I did all this, I went by the one that was published.
Yeah.
And
Just
all
need to copy that and all this can be fixed. And then you look at your individual fund, and this can be done in a matter of days, not months. You look at your individual fund and you said, I want, instead of utilities, I want gas, electric, water. We can do that. It'll just take some time. We'll have to go back and reclassify those transactions that are in there to those appropriate. And that's the only thing that'll take.
And I just think again, it needs to be, like Ken's saying, we need to have all the things in there. Like, one of the things alarming in here, there's an $8,000 training for City Hall. No, I had 2 trainings, IT training for $1,000 and clerk training for $1,000. Somehow we gained $6,000. That's not even, if you look at the keypad, that's not even a keystroke you would naturally make. So I don't know how that
That
occurred.
we paid or that's,
That's what it's saying. We budgeted $8,000.
okay.
We shouldn't have paid anything yet. But we wouldn't know because the way this is generalized, training is just a lump sum. You don't know really what's in there. And that's the thing. Yes, you can click on C, but when we get presented these every month like we should have looked at that and know exactly what was taken out of our accounts. Not saying, hey, can you look it up for me and let me know what that is? Because I don't recognize that.
So
Well, each month she does print off every single transaction that happens. Every single bill that's been paid. You've been getting that every month since we started.
Yes, but as superintendents of the departments, we just need for us. I don't need to look through 5 pages of what's
Yeah,
spending.
and that's
I
what
need
the
to look and see
classes
what-
now do. So the classes, we couldn't before because we didn't have the class. So now we went back to every transaction since July 1st, put the class in. So now you should be able to see that even on it'll say class. So we'll just make sure that report, so we'll take that as a takeaway, is that the monthly transaction report needs to have class on it.
And I don't mean this anyway. There's no, we're in this situation we're in. It's got nothing to do with any one individual person. It's just, we heard excuses, or at least I did, of why the last one ended up of, oh, we didn't know we were getting. Well, if we keep doing general classes and we're not really watching what we know we approved on our budget line, we're gonna be in the same boat.
So do you all think that doing the QuickBooks through the bank like they've been talking about, would that?
We are.
Yeah,
This is just, the open items are there. This is the chart of accounts. There are no hidden accounts. So let me just make that clear.
Mhm.
So if you want more detail to one of these accounts, then you need to tell us or to them what that detail is. I want, instead of utilities, I want phone and water and gas. That's what you want. Then you have to spell that out. We'll have to create those accounts. We'll have to go back into utilities and then move those things to the right.
Well, I think what we want that, but we also want to see this more than once.
You can see this anytime now.
We want to see this more than once a year.
You can see it anytime you need to see it. I created custom reports that she can pull up anytime by department. So he can come in and say, I want to see police, I want to see ABC, I want to see these. There's different reports in the reporting now. You can get anytime. It just, what we had to do, like I said, is go back and every single transaction had to be classified into classes. What you guys said.
Well, this is saying, once we determine the classes, the way you all want them, however that may be, You all can come in at any time, and we can run that report, and you will know where you are at any given moment.
Yeah.
That's what you want,
And
right?
we'd all said this is what we wanted, the details. That's why everybody detailed their line item, what they requested in the budget. So I mean, that's right there.
Yeah, the details are there, you just have to ask for like a vendor report, right?
No, we have a vendor report, just we'll do it by vendor who you pay,
Yeah.
just like the transaction report. So what, you can get this budget report, which will show you every account that you have in your fund, how much you spent here today and how much you have left according to the budget. It just sounds like we need to update the budget number. And
Yeah,
that should
but
give you everything
outside-
that you know.
But outside of this report, I mean, I'm gonna agree with Dale here because like I run a company and that's not enough. I have to see every single account. I gotta know where every dollar's going.
Every account is on this report.
He's talking about this, maybe he's not using the right vernacular.
Yeah,
We've
I don't
also
see anything that says Rumpke. I don't see anything that says Georgetown Lawyer. I don't
I
see.
don't think you need bank account.
I'm not talking.
No, I'm talking chart of accounts.
Yeah,
You're talking
chart.
vendor.
I'm talking vendors.
Yeah, we can do it.
Or vendor category, not a specific like ABC company. We want to know how much was spent in vehicle repairs here. Because what we found out also,
Not
it's
just
hard
saying
to,
vendor.
Yeah, I'm saying vendor, down to the vendor.
well, we get a vendor list, yeah, we do that. But we still want to do these, right? So we know this, because the problem in the budget was, especially in the end, when we had to cut $60,000, we were like, well, we don't know how much we can cut out of each one, because we don't know what we really spend. But if we do this detailed, at least for 1 year, when budget talks start, we know, okay, they really used $1,194 in office supplies, not 500 that we budgeted. And this way we don't know, because all supplies are one thing of $8,000. I mean, we can't really see what it is it's
So
affecting.
you, instead of doing utilities, you wanna do propane, you wanna do electric, you wanna do.
And a good reason is we talked about replacing the heating HVAC system here. Well, if we put it all into one utility, we don't really know what we're spending each individual, electric, propane. But we can go back after a year and go, oh my gosh, we're 38% over what we budgeted this year, so we need to up this next budget year.
What are the specific ones? So just kind of look at them. So advertising and marketing, you need more detail to that one.
Yeah, 'cause I don't even know where that's from. Are we talking about fire again, or are we talking about in City Hall?
I'm starting with general fund and we're gonna go through them all, so we can kind of talk about what detail you want. Because I don't think, because by vendor and by chart accounts, it's two totally different things. So we can do by vendor, we can do a vendor report, we can add class to it, so you guys can see that, right? We can do that. And because class was what was our missing piece that we didn't have before. And you're right, we've never had the budget at the level that we had it before. We had it more as a general. General.
And
So you'll even see that there'll be some that we've spent, but we had no budgeted amount. But that just helps us then plan for this coming fiscal year to say, okay, we had an expenditure there. If we want that detailed level, then we have to budget at that level. I think when you did the worksheets this year, you didn't match with the current chart of accounts completely. Because you can see there's lots of things that we're spending that we didn't have a budget for at all.
We didn't at all match. We didn't even look to match because we realized we ended up $80,000 in the hole last year in the beginning when we started looking at it. So we didn't want to follow last year's. No, we definitely
No,
took all these categories.
last year was planned to spend more than we took in. That's what you even did in your ordinance this year. Okay, so that was planned. We did not go way over budget.
We amended the budget this year to show an overage.
We have not
replaced it.
amended this year's budget.
Last year we did.
We did a little bit, but it was more between counts. It wasn't total overall. And then in with this one, the only difference this year is one, you've got classes that we haven't had before. Two, you've got detailed budget or line item budgets than we had before. Before we just said, fire's gonna spend 180,000, police is gonna spend 200, wherever they spend it, they spend it. And that's normal. That's not unusual, but you guys wanted to track it better. So we just have to get that right. You have to say what you want to track.
What's
And-
right here? I sent you. It's all these lines. That's how we specifically did it.
I have the Excel, it's just you've changed the numbers from the last Excel that I had.
No,
Yes,
No.
otherwise I'm not stupid. I wouldn't put the numbers in incorrectly. The last version I have looks like that, but I use the numbers.
this email is the one I printed off the last one I sent you, 257,756. And instead of 257,756, it now says we have 301,718. This is the email I just see, because I went to the last one I sent out. This is it.
So, okay, I mean, can we not just rescind it and if it needs to be
Oh, yeah.
changed, we can just,
Well, you guys confirm that that's the right one and just maybe a copy of it tonight. I'll fix it tonight. It's not a big deal. I just used the last worksheet that we had. And even from that, like you said, I think it's more in between. And then you just say, and that's why I'm saying, so advertising and marketing, how would you want to break that out?
And that's how we did on here at, because we used that advertising promo, we did that on the bid thing.
It says advertising and promo.
Mhm.
So what's the difference between, you just
There is-
change the word
no, it's
market?
the same.
Okay. And then bank charges and fees.
Yeah, we didn't even budget for those because we didn't know that bank was doing that to us and charging all the extra fees and everything. That's why we switched.
So right now what I'm hearing is break out job supplies and supplies.
Every one of these things. Every one of these, is what we talked about in budgeting. We want these to show where we're spending as they go.
I'll show you the mapping of every one of these.
Because the problem also we talked about was when they were seeing at the end, oh, we had $60,000 left. They didn't realize, 4,000 had to go to the insurance, 3,000 had to go to the utilities. They just saw all that money left and they started, oh, yeah, we're pretty spending this. And they didn't realize they had all these already indebted things they had to pay coming up.
would the commissioners ×3 not change?
If we changed the pay rate, but we gotta do that next month. What do you mean?
There's 4 commissioners, isn't it? Is that what
No,
I mean?
the, mayor and mayor pro tem by the ordinance get paid a different amount.
Okay.
So in supplies, how do you want to break that out? Office supplies and what do you have on your spreadsheet?
We had office supplies,
Oh, that's right. I'll get a copy now of that spreadsheet. I'll compare it to what we have and make the changes. And then utilities we can break out, and then you just go through it and is there anything else you want to break out and break out. We'll just create separately. But the difference, like that doesn't take any time. The time will be to go back and reclassify those transactions.
But once this is sent to you and all of that's changed, we can print this out and just have it.
Yeah,
on meeting.
yes, they can, that's why I wanted to make sure. I just wanted to kind of go over how it was laid out. Because there's different ways you can do it, but I played with it and I thought you would want to see this. You can see it just in one period. I'll show the ladies how to customize it, to where, like you say, I just want to see January, compared to year to date. So you can customize it. But, I didn't see any major, overages for year to date compared to what was budgeted. But that's the key. Just look at your specific one and say, where is that? And if there's something you really want to see, then we'll add it to the chart of accounts and you can see it.
Have budgeted amounts for each department.
I did. I just must have had wrong. I worked from the wrong worksheet. With that.
I would just like to be able to know where I stand with the budget.
Yeah, you not got a copy of it?
No matter.
So, yeah, make sure you it's a copy. So there's one police fund. So that's every line item and every bill has been classified. And then at the total column, it shows your budget. So for example, here, in income, we didn't budget any grant money because we didn't know we were gonna get it last year, but you did get any grant money. So that's what that showed you. The next line item, HB 1413, we budgeted 6,500. You're at 4,000. We're at half the year, so you're doing pretty good. You're making more than what we would have expected. For CLEP, you see, probably right on percentage wise. And then we had 16,000, and that was the car. sale of the vehicle, that's 16,000, sale of product, income.
Five.
Well, that's what was in the budget. I'll have to look. Is it 16,000 or 18,500?
There's an uncategorized income that's 18.5.
Okay. Well, that's, it must have been 16 on the one that I saw, so we'll fix that one. So that's what that is. And the actuals there, you can see it, uncategorized income. Yeah, those are probably the same two things. And then that's what I need. You guys know this much better than even the clerks do. So when you look at these, you'll say, that should be, that's the same thing for this, and we can definitely. Fuel, we have fuel broken out. Car and truck are the payments. I keep it there just so you can see it. Because when we make a payment on a lease or loan, it actually goes against our balance sheet, our interest and our payable. But just so you can see the number and compare it to budget, we're just gonna keep it there. And then at the end of the year, we'll do a transaction to kind of take down the balance sheet. Yeah, with the audit. Insurance, we do have broken out health and regular insurance. I just saw a line item for insurance, so I just put that 7,000 there. So that should go against something else.
How far back did you guys go for doing the classification?
July 1st,
July 1st.
that's the first of the fiscal year. We didn't go back to 2025. We'll catch anything there during the audit, so it's the same from this year going forward.
Yeah.
That's what all this is.
But sometimes it's nice to see year over year if you can.
And we can, in a total, maybe not by class, but in the audit, you'll see it. We can compare that. You'll definitely see year over year in the audit for 25 to 24 and 23.
You need to see one of these. It has ABC on here is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, you should get one too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, ABC fund. So. If there's something else you want to try, separate, you just let us know.
And again, the things that are on this chart, I think is a great example is tonight we're getting ready to talk about the block camera. We put it on here so we can keep track of it, because when we started doing our budget, we thought there was just one $12,000 payment. Then we got learned contracts, it was actually $24,500 a year. And I can't tell anywhere here where the flock is even included. Because we're getting ready to talk about it's $12,500.
There's 12,500 budgeted. Looks like we're renting and leasing those. Is that a rent and lease?
It's a contract, how we bought them. Do we buy the cameras and do we pay a monthly?
We pay a monthly, and that's pretty much what it is. I mean, the cameras are part of the contract. At the end of 5 years, you get rid of them, you get rid of them.
So that's where it's at, rent and lease.
Rent and lease.
Because really, if you bought the cameras, that would be an asset on your balance sheet, on an expenditure. So it's better, that's why some of these, we keep them in those places so you can see those expenses. It's more of a rent. That's it. Just look through it. Anything you thought to see, just let us know. And
Under the public works, if you look under the October to December, their actual income coming in. It looks like we're probably missing a payment there somewhere.
in the October, December. We
Yeah,
might not have booked December's until January. Just depends on when it's booked to the account. But we can, that'd be something that,
That was something I had a question on yours. What's a fee? What's a subscription or due that we would pay to the park association, or the park fund? $60? We didn't budget for it, so I don't know where it is.
where we at?
And you're on the public works, if you go down underneath bank charges and fees, there's a dues and subscriptions that we pay $60.
Oh, that's $60. Yeah, we'll dig into that and find out.
I bet something,
Might be my.
I did look at that. It wasn't new. It was like a subscription to something.
if we didn't have it here, if we didn't know about it.
Yeah, that's why I said that now, if, as you have them at the nth degree, it will help you with budgeting. But that's the key.
Yeah.
You have to budget for your chart of accounts. That way we won't have these mistakes. It's just a spreadsheet. I just kind of saying, well, I think that's what that is.
Yeah,
And I think that's what that is, and kind of match them up that way.
because we also didn't budget for reimbursements, because we didn't know, at least some of us didn't know they were reimbursing the fees to rent, give them back to That's not in the budget either, but it's
So they
on
shouldn't,
here.
they shouldn't reimburse the whole fee.
It's. Looks like at least $100 maybe. How much you giving back to people? Reimbursing on the park rental?
The deposit's $100.
What's the fee to rent?
75 if you live inside city limits, 100 if you live outside city limits.
Okay. And then, so they give you 175 and you give them 100 back that way.
So what do you even have the plot listed at under here?
It's under rent.
Under
We,
what?
we pay a service for rent and lease, we lease those on page 9. And it's under the police.
That's. And that just helps, because we all know this whole mission's up for election. If God grants 5 new people in here, they come in, they wouldn't have a clue when they do budget of what rental is. And no offense, I mean, we didn't have the clerks here, and the new commission might have to get a hold of you to find out what it is, and they might think, well, I don't know what that is, and not playing for it. It's just, that's the thing about being detailed in the line item, so anybody can come in and go, this is what we need to spend, this is what we're spending. When it's vague, I mean, kind of at a loss. Here's was over $6,551 for the budget. Here's is $6,551 over budget. Listing, not spent. For streets, we appropriated $40,679. But here that's saying the budget was $47,230. I was just pointing out to her that she's getting ready to have that expense with the Commonwealth and some other things that we approved. What was it? Birch Street, something else we approved.
And Birch and Commonwealth.
But that's why it's kind of, we gotta get these tight because we come in spending thinking, oh, well, I still got $6,000 over what I budgeted. I'm good. We're not.
There should be another 500 donation as well under parks. It should be or negative number. It's under.
When was that? What period, you know?
It would have been January.
June?
She might not have been credited yet.
Yeah, we have to last week. That's exactly what you just need to ask the
Yeah.
question.
I'm in on that. And we found out last month that we kept it in here for, actually, there was a household thing was kept for a couple of months, where it was a project, I think, maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
So the donation from Georgetown Ford Commonwealth, that won't show on that,
From who?
from Georgetown. Actually, Ford Commonwealth,
Up in the state?
yeah.
I have another question. The sales of product income.
That's the car. That was, when I had his budget too. So, but you can see the expense, the actual, it's the 18.5, and it's an uncategorized income.
Okay.
And again, that would, it's not really income.
Okay, so the uncategorized income was the 18.5, what was the 16?
That's what I had is what we had budgeted, because we got.
Oh, gotcha.
So how about this, is next steps? One, I'll get a copy of what Dell has tonight. I'll make those changes tomorrow, and she'll reprint these reports without the detail tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
She'll send them to you, and then you tell us what you want more detail, which account you want to break out. Or if you want to change the name, like if you don't like rent and lease for the block cameras, then say block camera monthly fee, whatever you want to call it, we can fix those.
I think we would rather it say what it is. Yeah, and like rent and lease.
Well, it really is, you're renting, you know, see,
I get it is a rent and a lease, I get that, but
what,
we would for me, I would rather it's, especially if I were a new commissioner coming in, I would rather it say plot camera, so I know what it is.
Is there a way to make a subclass under rents and lease that says block camera so that it can stay as a rent and a lease since it technically is a rent and a lease? But then you would have an itemized little
Yeah.
item that says this is a block camera.
yeah, I think so, or we can add block.
Yeah, something so that people know what it is.
Yeah, we can do that, there's anything you guys want, we can.
If you create that subcategory, would it show on the budget report that we're looking at?
I would do like the mayor's saying, I would make subcategories, because then you've got layer on layer on layer on layer. I mean, if you think about the grand scheme of things, what we.
I don't wanna make it too difficult.
Yeah, and what we do
You know,
with this
I don't-
is, this is 1,000,000% transparent. If somebody comes in and does a record request for our budget.
I just wanna be able to look at it and know what I'm looking at.
No, I understand.
For
So
somebody
we
that's
just change
done
the
it.
name, so if that's the only thing going into rent and lease, then we'll just change the name. If there's other items, like he's saying, then we'll just have two accounts. We'll have rent and lease bullets, and then rent and lease, you know, block cameras. So you just, you have, you know this more information than anybody. So
Right.
the commissioner has to understand where the money's going, and you just tell the clerks what accounts that you need that helps you do your job. And we can do it. Now we figured out exactly how to do it, even with payroll, which we couldn't do before either. So now we can classify by using the class, which we've never used before. We can classify every time we do anything. And then, like I said, I created for control a report that they can run at the end of the month. They're doing the bank recons now, and they can run this report and they can say, oh, I missed two things, because it'll show you what's not classified. It'll say, there's no class over here. Then they can go in and classify it before you get your budget. And then you should do that every month, have them printed off, but you can get to them at any time.
I can tell you this is 1,000,000 times better than what I got last.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so now.
It just takes time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time to go reclassify those. You have to do one at a time.
Yeah.
And so it just takes time to do those. But now we're at a good point to where it should be very easy going forward. And they've done a great job of putting it in now.
This does look a whole lot better. We got last.
And she, Michelle had mentioned to me that Dale had mentioned I didn't have the right spreadsheet, but that was the only one that I had. And so we just went with that. And I said, well, that's part of this. You guys tell me what needs to be changed. So,
And I apologize, I did not intend to like bushwhack, because I don't know who I met, but I mean, maybe emailed you. I didn't think that could come tonight. And so I didn't even look at these, to be honest, because I thought, well, I can't make the meeting. And then I looked at them last night working, like, oh my gosh, and that's why I took off work, because, so
I
it wasn't meant to
remember-
be a bushwhack, it's just I hadn't looked at them until last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And,
I remember us emailing you back in June.
mhm,
I thought it was me or you that sent her the email. So
yeah, that's where I got it from.
yeah, I even sent it back to Michelle. This is the final one I have. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But we'll go in and check it. We'll double check it to the ordinance and yeah, anything that I didn't interpret because it wasn't exactly the chart accounts. Like I was like, well, because I even called about a couple of them. I'm like, what is this? I didn't even have any
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So if you see something on a line item like that one, the sell a product, and it really is, we're just gonna put it in unclassified and just say it, and that can be fixed very
So
quickly.
I do have one request, and I'll ask whoever wants to get it for me. I need to see all of the Georgetown water and all of the Rocky monthly amounts for the last year.
But
Well, since July 1st.
that's all that is in under,
I need to see the actual transaction, because we're missing $9,000. I gotta find it.
Okay.
Yes.
and I would love to see if we can't do transaction with this. You know, so you have this, and then you might have a paper underneath it where you can say, no, you don't have to have them go double click. See if we can't print off a transaction with the budget. I'll see if that can. I'll teach them how to do that. That's it. That'll be right on the date. So next steps for me, copy, change the budget to the actual numbers. She'll give you that back out, and then the next step for you guys is to go through and say, I want this broken out, I want this name changed here, I want this moved here. You tell me that, or tell them, they'll go in and do that, and then I'll watch and make sure it happens.
And we're gonna put that other 500 into that.
Just parks.
And this part of ours, that's not out here.
And what I would do too is, I wanted to do it down at my laptop, but during the budget, when you're learning the budget, is have one of them logged in. And that way it's 2 seconds, I mean, you just click and go find it. Cause they can pull the report up, this exact report that they print out and go over, and then you can go in. That would be the easiest. I was gonna do that, and get my laptop up, but if they have it, if there's anything you like, I can go over in 2 seconds and find it for you. Just hard to take notes, but one of them had QuickBooks open during budget discussion.
So any more questions on the budget right now?
And once I get the final numbers, I'll give you a summation of, if anything's caught my eye, like, looks like we're getting way ahead on this one. But again, you have to realize it could be planned to do it, it only hits once a year, so it might show differently, but I'll highlight those for you. I just wanted to show you the format, confirm the numbers, confirm where I put things. That's exactly what's the purpose tonight. And to let you know why it took a while. Classes is new, which is great. You can do it with classes. And then every single transaction had to be reclassified.
And that's fine.
Oh, it was so much fun. So we split it up. We did everything.
You do have another question for you before you leave.
Yeah.
I think it is the question about how, about ABC pay has came up. With Kevin, about whether to give you a W-2 or a.
Yeah.
You all have been talking. I'll let you do that.
Hopefully I can find my words too. Whether or not he should have a 1099 or W-2, honestly, when they agreed to pay him $335,
You just put as a stipend.
I started cutting the check.
Hmm.
So I need to make sure that I have that correct.
So for this year, for 2025, not this year, that's for the rest of last year, whenever you started, whatever got paid like that, you'll get a 1099 for if it's over $600. And I brought all the 1099s with me too. So if anybody needs theirs, they're up there. So you'll get a 1099. You guys have to decide if you want to add him as an employee, and she'll have to add him that way where taxes will be withheld. The three characteristics that you look for and the difference is you answer these questions. Is one, do you tell him when he can work, where he can work, and how he can work? You have control over how he does his job. And, those are kind of the things, the difference between a contractor and employee. Like a contractor, you just say, I want this done. And you don't say, you got to come in on Tuesday mornings, you got to come on Wednesdays, you got to do it this way, you got to follow these rules. If that's more the ABC role is more employee role, then you should do that too. And that's the only difference. It's Uncle Sam take most of your paycheck.
I'm good with 1099, so everybody sitting here looking at me. I mean, that's the way I work over at the stockyards. And I know what time I'm supposed to be there and what day. But you get a 1099 instead of.
I mean, I'm fine with the 1099. We don't tell him when to.
Yeah, 1099 should be the way to go.
It still is under purview if somebody files an ethics complaint, he is acting as an officer of our commission.
And by ordinance, you actually tell him what to do.
Yeah, we do straight, his job duties come from our ordinance.
Only straight.
Can we reach out to Morgan?
It comes from the
Somebody to
state,
see
too.
if- Yes.
They'll suggest W-2. And because you're paying more taxes. I mean, that's just bottom line. W-2, you match part of his taxes. So overall, you're paying employer taxes. So any federal government, anybody you ask in the government's gonna tell you to do W-2.
And if they,
I'm just telling you what the rules are, like it's
Because they make
auditor,
money off
these
of
are the rules.
yeah, and if they do suggest that, I said we up his pay to make sure he's making what we said we pay him a month.
Yeah.
To equal out whatever the taxes are coming out of it.
You'd have his pay to cover taxes.
Cause we said we pay him so much a month, so as a stipend. We based it off of this from the KLC, the ABC officer paid.
Me personally, I think it's just 1099. Forget the rest of the asking part. That's simple, down, dirty, done. But you all as a commission, I'll take it either way you wanna do it, it don't matter. It just saves you all, in my peon opinion, saves you all the extra hassle, money, and the rest of it if you go with the 1099 versus the W-2.
Well, there's not much hassle, because we pay for the software that computes it and gets it done as soon as it gets inputted, so we're not doing anything other than a key click on our side.
And paying the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paying them taxes.
And
But we can reach out to KLC.
So how do you guys get paid?
They're W-2s.
Double choose, yeah.
And we
You
were
took
told,
what you wanted.
sitting on that commission.
Yeah,
We
Rob wanted.
were at W-2s. No, we were at 1099s and we had to go to W-2s.
Yeah.
Because we were sitting on that commission.
Yeah.
There's no difference in what he's doing. In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not no lawyer. Joe might need to answer that, but we went from 1099s to W-2s.
Yeah, I like what you said about that, because you're like, I don't need another 1099. I remember exactly what you said that time. You get a million 1099s, you'd rather be done and you have to do it to your accountant. Yeah.
Well, that's it. It's more of a preference. There's 3 rules that is the way the IRS would judge the way you treat a person as an employer contract. And I mentioned that. It's all about control. It's mostly about control and expertise. Like myself, I'm a contractor, right? And so, and I have to follow Gab and all these others. It's really up to you guys. But KLC, I can tell you, KLC's gonna tell you that you're a W-2. So if that's what you're gonna go by, then just, it's just calculating what his pay is now.
Yeah.
Is it what it is? And I think that I would do that first, because you'll have to see how that fits your budget.
Okay.
That would be one thing, if you find out for me, because all professions we have, legal is attorneys and you, and we budgeted 14,000 for the attorney, 20,000 for you. Maybe figure out, let us know where the $40,000 in the budget came from. And maybe that's just an input number wrong, difference, because we don't
Is
have
it-
the other.
The budget number or the actual number?
It says, the actual one, I'm thinking you gave, it says $40,000, but we only budgeted 14 and 20. So really, it's usually professionals. But that might just been a number in something you saw previously, maybe.
Something. I think that line item that I saw is when you guys were thinking about getting another bookkeeper perhaps or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Only other thing that sometimes I've seen hit there is like surveyor cost. That would be similar. That would be a professional service.
I think maybe that didn't get taken out.
That'd be another one of those that's good broken.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want it, so you want to break that one out? So CPA, attorney.
CPA, legal, and
And it just helps incoming people like the mayor said, I mean, God bless their hearts if they come in and none of us are left on it, have to figure out what's,
I mean, there's a lot of people come in with no experience, like
yeah,
me and Megan.
well,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, and Ken, you know, it's nice to be able to look at it and understand what you're looking at.
Especially individual partners. Helps them know what to ask for each year.
Yeah, before it was manually, that was the ones that I used to do quarterly. I did every quarter, but that was very easy and make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're coding at the time the check is written.
Yeah.
So it's much more, like I said, now it's real time.
It's even.
Anytime you can run it and say where we at and see that now. There'll still be some misclassifications. Alright, so I'll take that away, and let me have that, I'll make a copy of that.
I'll send you the email.
I'd rather make a copy now,
Okay.
so I don't get mixed up. You know, I don't know why, but emails now have like a history, and sometimes I hate it. I know. So then that's why I think happens, and you get the wrong attachment to the.
Kevin, will you show her how to copy on my printer there?
I got my hammer in the truck. I'll be right back.
Picture. So is it okay if I take a picture?
Yeah.
Authorize everything.
Huh? We don't have anything against pictures.
Okay. We need to vote on that, or we're gonna wait? Just him, he says,
Yeah, it's not the right number, so I wouldn't. It's more this.
oh, I meant the ABC.
Oh,
Whether or not, 99.
I was gonna say, aren't we gonna wait to see how much it does to the budget?
Yeah.
Yeah. That, we're just doing the 1099.
So we'll come back here. Oh, well, I mean, we're gonna give him the 99 for,
If it helps, you do a contract that makes you feel better. Just like you do with those 30.
I don't think we can for ABC.
yeah,
It's kind of a appointed thing.
And in that oath, it says I abide by all your laws or ordinances and KRS.
Is his salary not paid out of ABC fund?
Yes.
yeah,
So,
correctly.
what kind of effect would that have on the budget?
It done, we shut the practice. So, because here's the issue, without getting too in depth, we still haven't done the worksheet to make sure we're charging these sellers the right amount to fund ABC, because we're not spending the amount we're bringing in, and that's against the order of statute altogether. So that's a road we don't want to go down for sure right now. But, yeah.
So need more info.
I'll update the budget. I'll break out the ones we talked about tonight. I'll go ahead and do that so they can get started reclassifying them. And then, I'll do a calculation. Do you want the least, like, how many dependents? We need to get a W-4 filled out for
Give
him.
me your phone number and I'll give you a call.
Yes,
Would that work?
but yeah, we'll do that. That way we can calculate what that new amount is and then what the matching would be, and then I'll send you that number. And it'll be close. It won't be 100% because taxes, you don't have, you got local, all that stuff to consider. So
They vary.
we'll get close.
That's fine.
Okay,
Sounds
is
good.
that my takeaways? And then with the audit, of course, that's a big focus for us over the next month. Finish the audit up.
I need to sign it. I need to sign it before you leave, yes. I need to go to private, because I can't.
That's right. You can scan it, send it to me. And I got to come back down.
Doesn't have to be the original.
No, and I'll come back down because I have to go through all the minutes, so I'm gonna spend a couple hours just reading through all the minutes. And the next thing that I'll send to the chiefs is your asset list. Because we gotta do our balance sheet, so I'll list all of our assets, so I'll send you what I have. Things that are fully depreciated are gonna be on there, so there'll be some old assets, but if there's something you know is not on there, that's what you need to let me. That's the biggest thing that I look for, is to make sure we didn't miss an asset that needs to be depreciated. So look for that. That's the chief's always, that's kind of the next thing I'll send out that you guys should take a look at.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I like it.
Good. And we can fix it. How- just let me-
All right, moving on.
Yes.
Works, desktop computer. Would you ladies like to speak on it?
It's crazy, like.
Okay, so I know you guys, we've discussed previously to replace this computer as it's got a few different issues. Basically, to kind of save some money, instead of getting me a new computer, can we get Miss Peggy a desktop computer? And then I can start using that computer to fix.
That one's not having the issues, this one's having,
Yeah.
that one's fine, though, that's what I'm telling you.
This one's freaking me out.
And actually, this is what we discussed this in the budget about getting a desktop, and I put a budget line in there for what I figured at the time a desktop would cost. Mainly because at that time in the budget, remember, we found out that the hinge was broke and it was glitching and we were like, let's just get a desktop. It's more secure, doesn't get packed around places and stay safe for.
I didn't realize that this one was in this.
Kevin,
Well, and it, the other day, was
You dropped your paper phone.
you're standing on.
And then the day she had to release this, so 25 feet to get it up.
and then the last time.
You're gonna lose a lot of information.
So if she gets a desktop and you use this one, what do we do with the flock or the Al viewer? Is it,
That is very true. I don't know if I could wipe this one off and leave it over here and only use it to 9 minutes. Maybe, maybe I'll have to go back to handwriting, I don't know.
if it's just general purpose for the Al, after we talk about this, there's money left in what I put aside for IT for the city hall. We could buy just a little standalone and just a small little screen and have it over here for that, just run that. Or maybe look at getting that.
Would it be any cheaper to see if we could just clear everything off of here? Now, it has to stay open, it cannot be closed. But it could very well suffice just to relay that information because there's not gonna be anything saved on it.
And that would probably be better too, because a couple of times when I've been downloading meetings afterwards, it gets shut down and shut. And then Michelle's like, are you gonna upload that meeting? I'm like, I left it loading. And I come down there, I'm like, oh, somebody turned it off and shut the screen. And that's why I hadn't uploaded.
And he has been a tremendous help with that, by the way.
So this is, kind of what I looked at before. I know this has been floating around. But I'll tell you right now, I have one of the very first HP all-in-ones. It was great until my monitor died on it. And then when you have an all-in-one, if your monitor dies, you have nothing, you have a paperweight. So it's better to buy things that have externals like screens, mouse, because if they get broke or don't work, you just replace that. You don't lose in functionality of the entire thing. That's why I didn't go down the route to look at all-in-ones. They're not very great. Especially touchscreens, that makes it even worse because that has a whole issue of its own. But this is just standard. And I do have to break down the computer if anybody wants to see it. What it has in it. And this was 2 monitors to aid in her day to day. That way she could have a screen up and do the business and the functions of the accounts and everything. And she could have a separate screen for like Word and stuff like that. This has a, so you might know you might know Chuck Norris built the hospital he's actually born in. I have to put that in my thing. But, that would give her 2 screens, and this is still under what we budgeted, $2,000 in the actual budget for, yeah, 2,000 for hardware and equipment. So it's under it, and actually, after hearing her talk about hooking her computer up, we could look at also getting a dock hub. Does anybody know what that is? So a dock hub, she frees her computer and she could hook into that dock hub and she could see both screens and she could actually see her.
She could actually use the.
Yeah, she'd have to use it. This does have Bluetooth on it and it does have Wi-Fi on it. Has one of the fastest processors out there right now. And what I was gonna say was, if everybody's okay with that price and you're okay with this, you want me to look further, okay with that price, what I'd like to do tomorrow is call HP, because I found out HP has government buying. So we might actually be able to get that. This comes from a third-party seller. So we might actually be able to get that cheaper through HP if they truly have a government where we can buy through them. It does come with a wired mouse and a wired keyboard. I put the wireless on there just because it's a lot better with wireless. If you have wires and you get up and you actually pull the keyboard, pull the mouse, you yank everything on your desk off, you risk breaking screens or elements, things on your desk. This, if you pull it, you drop it, just gonna hurt it, but we have the back.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's good. The only other thing I would suggest is getting this set up on cloud backup and doing a daily backup every day.
That was my next,
Cause you can do it for like $2.99 a month,
and there's money in here.
$2.99.
This saves you money.
Yeah, we have $2,000 in the budget. Out of the money for budget and IT training here, Mary's budget talks, but we get a new computer, and this is no knock on anybody in the building. But I say I get a, estimate, bring down to you all to look at to hire a company to come in and load everything on there, have everything put on there correctly. And what you're talking about, we have a hard drive over there that when I asked when last time we updated to it, I was told we don't even know if we update to it. But we need to be updating our stuff, not only the cloud, but in a hard drive, lock it up in the computer, in the safe.
And something tells me if somebody shows us how to do it, it's gonna be pretty simple, and maybe it's something we can click on once a month.
That'd be the goal. Whoever comes in and gets
You
all
want
this
somebody
running.
to come in and do what now? You want somebody to come in and set the computer up?
No, put all the programs on it, get everything loaded for them, everything's running and functional with them here. But that way it's done correctly, we don't have any hiccups in transferring
Which
data.
program are we talking?
I,
We're just talking Microsoft Office.
I assume, I don't know what all's on that.
QuickBooks?
It was Microsoft. I mean, that should be their
Internet and
Microsoft.
all your Microsoft stuff.
Shouldn't be that hard, but what if something's clicked wrong and it's deleted?
And then,
I would prefer to have a professional load it because then you know it's done right. And, everybody has their own way of doing things. If an IT person comes in, it's gonna be done consistently the same way.
Won't y'all help you?
With the county? I mean, I think that's a fantastic
Who is it?
tip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think that QuickBooks would be much more than just logging into it.
That's my guess.
Or Microsoft itself right now.
But we're also talking about in this thing transferring all the files over.
yeah.
Right,
So-
but you could probably put most of those files on a thumb drive and
Hopefully.
put, and take them over, or you could probably get like a external hard drive and
And
put
that's-
them on that and then.
And that's what I was talking about then.
Use the QuickBooks backup feature.
Yeah,
It'll back up your entire computer,
or that.
and then all you gotta do is,
Yeah, I don't know that we need to spend, I mean, if we had some crazy stuff that had to be like very technically installed and stuff, yes, I could understand doing it, but I think that's probably a lot of money to spend for just QuickBooks and Microsoft.
Well, not just QuickBooks, also the daily update. And
Right,
setting up the cloud, because when I was told, we don't even know how it works and what it is.
Yeah.
That tells me they don't have familiarity with it, so
right.
better somebody come in and get it.
But I mean, if we're just gonna do an external hard drive or something, then it's
Yeah.
not,
That's what that is, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we just get a new hard drive and,
so you're gonna back up 2 places.
huh?
You're gonna back up 2 places.
Back up to,
Double redundancy, I would,
I mean, you probably should.
yeah.
So there is a gentleman that's supposed to come from People's Bank
Just
to
to
help us set up QuickBooks.
There you
So
go.
that part of it
There you
should be good.
Coordinate with
Maybe
him.
one of the first steps that we need to take is her and I sit down and go through one of the external hard drives that I do have. And one thing about it, how old is that?
You don't wanna know that, trust me, I mean.
Well, I want
No, I
to
do, because if you plug it up into this new computer,
May not.
I don't know that that's a good thing.
I know Rita started here in 2017, and both of these computers were bought after her.
I don't know that we should plug that into a new computer.
That's what I say, Dale, we bought one.
Yeah, I thought we bought one of the laptops, you're right, yeah.
Cause I think one of the laptops was for Emily. Or bought when she was here, but I'm not.
That sounds right, because Nathan's wife had a desktop. What's her name? She had a desktop, I remember that.
And something else, these computers, like the files that are on here, the one thing that gives me a little bit of comfort, the files that are on here, as soon as I save it on the desktop, it shows up on them.
The big thing that would need to be done is computer up functional, it's security software going before we try to bring files over, because they can be corrupt. Now, some of those files will probably say it can't be transferred over, because this is Windows Pro 11, so who knows?
That talk to each other.
Yeah, who knows if it reads some of the original ones, but definitely security should be up and running. That was my thought with the professional coming in and make sure he can say, yes, it's safe to start uploading. And
Most of my stuff went from Tampa.
but I think Chip would be good
Chip
answers.
would
And
probably be
People's
more than
Bank,
willing to do it. too.
and the People's Bank guy would be perfect for that, yes. So you want me to also get an estimate on a
External.
large, I think that's a one. It's not even a 1 terabyte. I can't remember. I looked at it one day.
Yes, I would definitely.
Okay,
They're pretty reasonable.
so do you want to vote to approve this cost, but if I can get less through HP, buy it through them? And maybe say, instead of 1157.97, say 1,300. That way I can look at the external.
But I would throw the external hard drive in.
Yeah, okay. What about the document port? They're like $50. Okay.
They'll call Chip and see what he's got some time to do.
Some buying program, yeah, that's true. And I was kind of iffy about doing HP. I have HP at home, but I don't know about an office setting, but I just read that the state, that's gonna be their new $5 or $8 million is gonna be this processor and this actual
On
model.
these HP for the past 5 years. I've had a lot of.
I've used them for years.
Yeah, well, that's what I have at home, but,
I'll make a motion.
make a motion for $1,300 to go towards desktop hub and external hard drive purchase.
I'll second. All in favor?
Are you gonna vote for it? Are you gonna vote for
Oh.
it?
But
All right.
But you said that there is, you said that we pre-budgeted 2,000, so we're under what we're budgeted for.
Yeah. All right, clerk training.
hardware equipment.
This is not the yearly train or the yearly training that they're wanting to go to. What is this training?
It's Kentucky Municipal Clerks 15 Conference. It's in Paducah, April 15th through the 17th. The personnel summit is already past, getting into that one. It's registration. This one is $275 plus the $35 for the banquet, and then of course the travel.
So for each person to be 315,
And this is not the year, but this is not the weekly.
and
Correct.
so this is not what she'd have to do as part of her 3 years.
No, we did not. We did.
I think maybe we wait on this one. Till the yearly one.
Is there any like documentation on this? See what there's.
That's all I have. They said to me.
List, what they cover.
So what is the yearly one for them? Are they already
Usually in the summer. July.
Summer, July?
Late July.
Their telecommunity conference version. Like every conference I get sent at my work, there's like a $5,000 in person. Yeah, $50 virtual.
I don't know, it doesn't say it. This is the 50th anniversary conference.
So that would. And we didn't discuss like per diems or hotels in the budget. We just put a mileage reimbursement and clerk training at 1,000, mileage at 450.
Right. Then you're talking about health,
Yeah.
all of that, so I say maybe we try to budget for something like this next year. And just do the online. Next year.
One question,
I would like to see more.
you said it's in July, usually the one that she'll need to take, well, that'll be in the next budget year anyway. We have it budgeted for something in the next 4 months, but we don't have budgeted for like, I guess we did broad clerk training, that could pay for. I don't know, I'm gonna shut up, I'll let y'all say, no, talk about it. Okay, I'm good.
And the only other thing under there, we're gonna talk about the Chamber of Commerce. I assume you all are aware of that the new director of the Chamber of Commerce is from Stamping Ground. Her name is Amanda Palmer.
Is this part of training?
I'm sorry,
Is this part of training, because it has to be on the agenda to talk about it?
well, that's what Michelle said, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
thinking it was to be lumped in with training. Was I wrong on that?
I guess,
What is it you're talking about?
yeah, yes, yeah.
Into the luncheons, basically. So we have some exposure.
Well,
The luncheon, we already paid the membership for that, and it's.
You pay the membership, but you pay each
We have
month
to pay for it.
for the luncheon, which is $20.
Yeah, we have like. $20 right now.
We could do a blanket With signing me up to go and then any of you all will go that way.
That's,
We can't talk
we
about it.
can't talk about that.
Okay.
Newspaper guy might point out, we talked about things on the agenda.
Okay, credit card machine and Pitney Bowes.
Yes.
Well, maybe Miss Angel can update us. She had a or not a conference call, but a customer service call with both, the credit card reading and Pitney Bowes machine. As far as I understand, she may have these numbers, but they're numbers related to the credit card machine and breaching that contract that would need to be calculated to determine if we want to make that move. I think she said that with the Pitney Bowes machine, they said that all we need is to give them written notice that we intend to quit. So I can, I was telling Joe, I can get a letter drafted up and we can vote on it, I guess, or move on it at the next meeting. And if you all like, I mean, it'll just say we intend to breach, you know.
Yeah, with the
So-
credit card machine, I can share, the buy-in on the lease is $1,344.25. If we continue to pay
Isn't
to
it-
the end of the lease, we're gonna pay over more than that.
Yeah, it's like it's a long lease. It's like till 2028 or something.
29.
29, so.
We'd be better off just to buy it out. Or to
Yeah.
pay it
And that's something we discussed at length, you know, signing these contracts that obligate the city more than 12 months. I mean, it's just crazy.
Well, Dale, didn't you say like if we went with Square or whatever, that there's not all those
There's not.
associated fees, so it's like,
And then we found out from people who have the option to do something through their services, right? So it wouldn't cost anything.
Yeah.
So either way, it's gonna be cheaper.
Is there a buyout for Pitney Bowes?
Hey,
no, there was no
That's
pay.
not, it's just written from the lawyers.
and Pitney's a stamp machine,
Yes,
so just for your benefit, we did figure in the budget $800 for postage to get rid of that and just buy stamps as needed. Or go up and pay postage as a larger thing, we had to get it.
The $13.40 for the credit card machine.
Is that all it was?
$1344.25.
Wasn't there like some, don't we have to make a certain amount of payments or? Okay, so it's just
That's
straight
strictly
one
on
time.
that.
Okay.
Versus 4,000 if we follow the contract. And the contract, that was for 3 more years?
So July 29.
Miss Angel, do you think that it would be possible to call them and get some kind of numbers in writing?
I can call her.
That
now.
way that way we have something to be like, this is the number you gave us and we're,
I've got her name and number, so I can call her.
yeah, that would be great. I think probably it would be smart just to get one from Pitney Bowes as well. Saying in writing, you don't owe us anything, you just need notice. Because that way they can't come back at a later time and be like, you breached, you owe us all this money.
I have the paperwork trail.
Yeah, so.
I think that's a good idea.
I'll take care of that.
So I also think it's a good idea to, it's easy to say that we would be $1,300 versus 4,000, but no matter what machine that we put in here, it's gonna cost money.
Mhm.
Right? So what is the true net savings?
Well, as far as posting machine, we won't put a machine.
Not postage, I'm talking credit cards. We have to take.
If you do Square, as if Zach was saying, there's no cost to actually get the Square.
Right.
And it's just a percentage of whatever you run on the credit card.
Pennies on the dollar, yeah.
Yeah, which is minimum compared to what you're paying.
Yeah.
And there is no
What is
contract
the
involved.
fee there?
There's,
Front Square,
No, for what we have, what's the monthly fee now?
we didn't put it here, but that's the World Pay, right? Is that World Pay? See, that was the thing with the reader, we had to pay for the machine, we had to pay for the clearinghouse and pay something else, which is 3
pay
different
tax
things.
payment and be paid wage rate.
And the way to look at it is, we're paying the rent. If we don't do any credit card, we're losing money for it to sit there. If we do Square or People's, we're only paying at the time the transaction occurs, pennies on that.
Yes.
I mean, so, in the long,
They're
that's-
saying that use that if you charge a convenience fee, so I don't want anything.
yes, and and Ms. Brown brings up a great thing too. We talked about incorporating, just like with the trash, we talked about incorporating whatever our fee is gonna be. Like the clerk to use my card up there, it's what, like $4 or something? Charge that convenience fee. Never do that. What was that?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
It's that chili.
You wouldn't lose any money, right? Like if you're charging a convenience fee for someone to use the card here, then
Then charge that on top.
you're breaking it, so it's.
Which, and in hindsight, you could charge a convenience fee now.
Well, and I'll say, whenever I
I
had
think-
talked.
I think with the Square, sorry, with the Square, I think that's probably the better idea. I used Square in the past.
And the Square could be set up, you could put the fee in there, like the rental fee or whatever
There's
fee,
no
you can be in there and do the category and charge, and it keeps a track for us in the printout, what we're doing.
Yeah.
Versus we scan that
And
a
if you're
hundred times,
looking
I
at
don't
it
know
for-
what it's really
For
for.
what we charge, you're looking at like, depending on the card, like $2 to $3 max.
Yeah. And then the difference on the stamp thing, you know, we pay the 1,300 now, if we keep 4,000, pay 4,000 3 years, but if our postage, the 800 year works, that's only $2,400, we're saving 16 right there on the 4 year long run, if it works. So definitely both sound like the way to go, I just don't know why, I think it was, we have. I'm sorry to put it like this, but I think a lot of times, let's try to be the big guy on the block and the big government. We need to remember, live within our means. I think those were nice thought, but definitely not the right thought.
Well, it would be different if you were bailing out property taxes and so forth, but you're not.
Oh, if we were doing 500 credit cards a month.
Right, exactly.
When's the last time you did something more than 10 in a month?
Well, like she said, in the month of January, we've used it once. Now, when property taxes first start getting going, yeah. When you have the most pavilion rentals, it's a little more often, but you're still looking at a handful a month.
Well, we haven't really used like mailing out flyers or anything like that. And we could and we should on many occasions.
Well, and if they did have a bulk thing like that, you go to Georgetown and they can run it through the machine and do them all in one shot. It's the same cost.
Yeah.
I mean, Penny Bowes wouldn't give us a 10 cent per item discount. I mean, just the luxury of having it here instead of driving up there and doing it up there.
Yeah. So, no, I'm good. I'm good with both. I agree with the attorney. Get it ready, get it right.
Yeah. Okay. Ready? Yes.
7 parking.
2.7 parking.
Okay, so this is an update from me and Chief Giles. He had requested me to just look in sort of to the parking issue over here at the liquor store, the loading zone. And then as well as striping up and down 227. So I, got in contact with a gentleman, an attorney for District 7 at Kentucky Transportation Cabinet named Kyle Ray. We had a conversation. I submitted to him just a very basic letter with some pictures off Google Earth, pointing into that and basically drew some lines on it and showed this is what we would envision it sort of looking like. Can you tell me, what we need to do in order to comply, to get this process started? So he has my letter. He told me he's gonna check with his permitting and compliance people and that he will let me know eventually. It's been a week, so, I haven't had any other update from him, so I can reach back out to him next week, but I can have another update for you all at the next meeting. But hopefully what I hope you say is, at least as far as the loading zone is, he had told me on the phone, he doesn't think that's even an issue. We just get the signage straightened out and that'll be fine. And then he'll tell us hopefully, this is what steps you need to take in order to paint the road up there and get the parking spots. So,
Do you have Natalia's contact too?
which,
Do you have Natalia's contact too?
I don't, I'm not sure.
I'll send it to you if you'd
Okay.
like, cause that's who I talk to a whole lot whenever I'm talking about state road.
Sure, that'd be great, yeah. I don't know if Chief wants to, he did a little bit more in-depth, measurements to give us basically a general idea of
I think,
what our spaces would look like or how many we'd have.
based on all the setbacks on each private drive, you have to have 4 feet on each side of that private drive. On, streets, you have to have 25 feet on each side from the center of the intersecting road. And, at fire hydrants, you have to have 15 feet on each side, so 30 feet. On the southbound side, we're looking at roughly from Locust Fork all the way to Birch Street, you're looking at about 90 to 95 spots. On the, northbound side, from Springview to Locust Fork, you're looking at about 45 slots.
Now you're talking about parallel parking, not perpendicular, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
So, I think if potentially with the parking lot here, we could potentially have, right at 100 parking spots here in that half a mile area.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And then I guess if y'all are good on that, we can go to taser surplus, which Joe and I looked into this for Chief Giles. He's got some tasers that he wants to, some cartridges that he wants to get rid of. And Joe had sent me some legal research saying that certain firearms you have to dispose of differently. From what I read, and we weren't sure whether or not that qualified.
Yeah.
But from what I read, it seems that it's not considered a firearm if it uses nitrogen cartridges to fire the projectiles. If it uses explosive detonation to fire, then it is a firearm. So this technically, I don't think counts. Joe had said that we could, I guess, if it's not considered a firearm, we could surplus it like normal stuff. Chief had a question whether he could just get rid of them because
Discharger training.
Well, I
right,
can do the, we've got three different, we got X26s, X26Ps, and X2s. The X26 is completely defunct. You can't get proper parts for it. You can't get batteries for it. It's just not usable. It uses the same cartridge as the X26P, which I have found out from the Phaser 35 officer at the sheriff's office that they donate all their X26Ps to the jail. And we could do the same thing with ours. All of our cartridges that we have for every type of taser we have are all expired. I don't carry a taser. Don did. We got his cartridges from the sheriff's office, so all of ours are expired, but they can still be used for training purposes. And the sheriff's office said they would like to have those. We can donate them to them. We've got 4 X26s. I think it's just pretty much can't sell them. You can't. I mean, even if you try to sell them on gov.com, it's gonna cost more than you get out of it. So the sheriff's office they just trashed all theirs because they're not worth having. They're not worth selling. The X20P or 26s, like I said, we can donate to the sheriff's office if you want to approve that. And then the X2s are just like the X26. They're pretty much defunct. You can't buy parts. You can't get batteries. They're not usable at all.
So we're distributing cartridges and giving them the
The jail
components too.
we would donate the X26P tasers that we have. We could donate those directly to the jail. That's what they carry. That's what they use. And like I said, I don't carry one. And I don't foresee us having them. If we do, we're gonna have to purchase it. It's gonna cost, a new taser is like $7,000. I mean, about more than that.
As far as grants. Yeah, just so expensive.
So, that would be my recommendation would be to donate the X26Ps or surplus them and give them to the jail. Give all of our cartridges that are expired to the sheriff's office and just 86, the X26s and the X2s. Because they're not worth usable, worth anything, not serviceable.
I mean, surplus going to the government, we just make the motion and have.
Yeah, can we do this in 3 separate motions, Chief, so we can, you've got 3 categories, I think is what you're saying.
3 different types of taser.
Yeah, so, let's talk about the ones that you're gonna, give to the jail.
That's the X26P.
You wanna make a motion to donate the X26Ps to the jail? I'll make a motion for that.
Second.
All those-
We're all set. Do it. Yeah. Sounds good.
I don't think,
All those in favor?
You can pick whatever section you want.
Megan.
And then,
I didn't hear Megan, I heard.
Okay, whoever.
Didn't tell, so.
Just pick one.
Just pick one.
okay. And then the second is, second motion,
Joe, there's one second.
and Chief, there's a statutory findings that the city has to make, that is, what the property is, its intended use at time of acquisition, it's a taser, I get that. The reason why it's in the public interest to dispose of it, are they just obsolete or?
The X26 and the X2 they're both obsolete.
Okay,
And then all of the cartridges that we have are obsolete, because they're expired. So you
Yeah.
couldn't, you wouldn't.
Liability if you try to use it, yeah.
No, for training purposes, it'd be fine.
and, okay, what would you, next category? Go ahead.
The X26. These ones that we're gonna donate. The X26, which is the first model taser that came out with,
Mhm.
they're not serviceable, they're obsolete. And the X2,
Those are go in the
Garbage,
trash,
garbage,
yes,
destroyed.
so you wanna make a motion to,
X26 and the X2,
or just the X20?
those are both of the ones that are going in the trash.
Okay, that's all right, go ahead.
Yeah,
The X26 and the X2 will make a motion to destroy due to them being unusable,
obsolete.
obsolete.
Motion,
Dale second,
you can
all those in
make it.
favor? Oh,
And you have to do one on the cartridges that were.
Yeah. and so the cartridges, and what do you intend to do with cartridges?
Donate those to the sheriff's office for training purposes.
Okay. But they're obsolete as well.
Well, you couldn't carry it as an on-duty aspect of your uniform because
Okay.
it's expired. So you wouldn't want to shoot.
Liability if you shut them or anything.
I got it. So, the motion to,
Give those to the sheriff's office.
motion to donate those to the sheriff's office because they are expired.
I'll second.
Megan's gonna second that. All those in favor?
You got this.
Those are cartridge.
If it's in Cody in here, we wouldn't have none of them.
Question.
Everybody will get two.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, I have a question, but it's in my own head, John. It's-
You can't say it out loud.
No.
Okay. Anything else about those? No?
We might get rid of.
Okay. Okay, John, that's all minutes.
Okay, I've got pretty much all the equipment unopened, still sitting down there in the police department, and my understanding that there never has been a vote.
John's defense, he is not the only one, myself and a few others of us all thought
Yeah,
this had already been voted on. And I heard Dale say yes, so at least,
yeah, he reached out to me like,
Yeah.
we talked about it, yeah.
at least four of us on here, I don't know if you did, but at least four of us thought that this had already been voted on. So,
The last thing
everything
that
we
was,
designed.
the last thing that I was asked to do was present it to Joe for his review, and when Joe and I made contact the last time, he said it looked good, so I sent it to Jennifer,
Yeah.
and she signed off.
This is
The
the,
payment's not been made yet.
this is the in-car camera.
Yes.
And I think that we all were in agreement, but Joe said he wanted to review the contract.
Yes, but
And,
we never actually.
but we never voted. Yeah,
We tried to vote, I think, several times one night,
yeah.
but we never actually voted.
I said we motioned to vote that night, he said that he wanted to review it, which is why, but I mean,
Yes.
So do we need to vote now?
yes.
How much was it again?
It's $18,534.
Over how many years?
Well, no, it's set up to for one payment.
Okay, one payment.
And, the sales of Durango is 18,500, and the $1,500 liability grant that we got is $20,000. That will cover it.
So,
So-
it didn't come out of pocket.
Since it wasn't budgeted, should we make a motion to use those funds specifically to pay for it?
Well, no, I think you just have to approve the purchase if you intend to approve the purchase.
Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Alright.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of the Axon in-car camera
I'll second.
for
Payment.
For one payment.
$534.
$18,534.
Second.
All those in favor? There goes the triangle.
But with that, we should look at, once we get settled, the dust settled and goes, we're not amending the budget. To reflect using those monies to pay for that.
Blocks.
Block cameras.
We have grants on those now?
I haven't been able to find a grant for those.
That would be nice.
There's a credit on this bill of $1,274.
Now, we're just down to the one contract though, right? That has the big guy and four others or something like that. Five
We
of
still
them.
have two contracts, because we still have
We're
nine.
supposed to cancel that other contract. We're supposed not to renew that. We talked about that in the budget. So we still got 4,500 out of line. We talked at length, we only approved for one contract. In the budget, we said we were gonna cancel it.
I don't know. Which one did we talk about canceling, do you know?
This is the budget line here.
We talked about specific cameras.
Says contract number 000292122 expires 6/28. That was the one we said we wouldn't renew.
Of this year?
And now, when we talked about budget, we all had in mind that one of them expired 6/28. We said we wouldn't renew that, because we still had the one in December too. It's in the notes and the things we passed out.
Able to cancel that.
The issue.
It expired, it was a
The
renewal.
issue with that though is that there are certain cameras on each contract. They wouldn't allow us to pick and choose which cameras we did.
We can't keep paying $24,500. That's a third of an officer's salary, to be an officer in here.
Which one is up next? This one is. This one is due.
This is the one that's got the ETC camera up here in front of the school.
That's when we got it. That's the best one.
Let me contact Flock and see if we can pick and choose. I know we need the two cameras on 327 and the one across from the school. And I think the two on Seabury are more important than Wood Lake and Open School.
Now look, I think I got an email, because during budget, you all told me to reach out and ask the lady specifically when they came up. She might have sent, I'm not positive, but I think she might have said something about it going to cancel one, like an email. I'll see if I can find it, send it to you.
But the budget was only 12.5, so.
We said we were gonna get rid of one of them and keep the one that, because that one was supposed to expire in June, it was an automatic re-up or we had to sign?
All that.
Yeah, I think we said we were gonna cancel it because we knew we had to pay the December one because we're still on the hook for his contract wise.
I don't remember. We had so much trouble with the Raven
It's a
stuff.
5-year contract. So
Yeah, one of them, this one expired in June, so it was done. That 29122, is that a number I want to use?
I don't have any of
Your
your
contract
contracts expired because they're 5-year contracts. I've not even been here 5 years yet.
I don't know, unless it wasn't a 5-year.
I'll make sure, I'll contact them.
Yeah.
See
Yes,
exactly where we stand.
they were just coming in.
I'm thinking it was 23, but
But just,
Yeah, because they were just coming on when I came here.
just tell them we've only got 12,000, but we want all the cameras. But that's literally all we budgeted, plus the 12.5.
Um,
This contract is 10,742.47.
Yeah, Bible is who I talked to, Biebeo.
I don't think she's there anymore. Alyssa already is the contact.
So one contract expired on 12/1/2025. The other contract doesn't expire until 28. 6/19/28.
When did what'd you say the first one?
One expired in December. But it says expires 12/1/2025. You will be signing a new 24-month contract at this time. So if we didn't sign anything, vote to approve it, didn't sign it, that should actually be done.
Well, it sounds like only 24 months too.
I'll send this to you right now. I'll send it to you too.
Can you send that to me, Julie?
Yeah.
So this one is for the one right with me school and what else?
We're across the school. The second one we have out at,
Was,
Stanford Ground Tire on the north end.
okay,
The second one we have on the south end, because we have 4
yeah,
on 227. We have 2 on Cedars, that's 6. 1 on Wood Lake, 1 on Locust Fork.
and we don't wanna lose those. So we just need to find a way for them to condense.
Yeah.
The ones on 227 and.
And it gets those 4 and the PTZ camera
Yeah,
and
those are the ones we really want.
yeah.
Okay.
Says that one, the 12/5 one, is that what's due right now?
The one that's due right now is the 10,
Okay.
the one for 10/7.
You said the 12/5 one is 5 LPR camera?
That's just a standard block camera.
Gotcha.
Because they put them out, when they put them out,
Dispersed them.
yeah.
You don't know which are in the contract?
Well, they're like, the first contract has the first 2 that were, one's down here and one's out there, and then one's on Seabury and
Wood Lake. and
Woodland.
Locust Fork.
So they're spread out,
That's the
they're
first
different
one.
contracts.
The other 2 on 227.
Yeah.
The second one on Sebring and the PT.
So this is just for 4 cameras.
That, one across from the school,
That's the condo,
more
right?
expensive, yeah.
Condo.
It's $3,000.
And worth it. Right there at school.
Okay, so we can, that's a started camp for us.
I'll send it, everybody and update you tomorrow when I find it.
Okay. We're ready to go to the last item?
Yeah, where did that get added? Cause the one I
We
had,
snuck it on.
that's their deal without that on there.
Well, I'm sorry, we snuck it on there.
It's the very last minute,
It was a very last minute.
down to the wire.
Are we talking about the cabins up in Georgetown?
Yes.
The one that's falling apart that they tried to give us when me and Rob were on?
Maybe. Not the nice one.
Yeah.
So, a gentleman that my office, Kentucky Heritage Council works with named Patrick Kennedy is a cabin expert. I've reached out to him. He is gonna go inspect it for Georgetown. And he's not affiliated with Georgetown in any way, so he's gonna give them an opinion on whether or not it is structurally sound enough to
To do it.
remain.
Yeah.
And then, once that occurs, he's gonna let Bernie know. And I guess then we can, after speaking with Bernie, after he gets that information, he's gonna pick us up back in the conversation about whether we want it or not.
Yeah.
So,
Can you be working on grants to move it and just resell it?
Oh, we don't have to.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I don't know any of those details, so if you want to go ahead and fill everybody in on that.
There is some type of agreement.
With Georgetown Water.
With Georgetown Water, moving it. And relocating it. So we don't have to worry about that. We just have to worry about, I guess, the upkeep on it once it gets here.
It's been pretty self-sufficient.
What?
I think it's been pretty self-sufficient.
It has. It has.
We need to contact our insurance company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly agree with that, not putting it overtime about it.
So there are 2 cabins, Royal Spring Park, Georgetown, for the water company to, complete one of their water projects for the Shea Estates. They're going to have to move both cabins, but they're just relocating one of the cabins to where the other cabin is. That second cabin was originally donated to them from Shelbyville.
It's Christiansburg.
And they do not have anywhere to put that one. And it is obviously much easier to surplus things from agency to agency, especially in St. County. And when we heard about it, we like history and cabin will look super cute down here. Probably over in your area with your bricks.
We talked about.
Maybe, just an idea. But we could, I mean.
We are picturing this.
He's from
I
Florida.
got some right here.
She's from, oh, there you
Thank
go.
you.
She's got one too.
He's from Florida, he's not from here. He has no idea what we're talking about.
Here's,
That's the one.
if you read from a second log cabin, originally built by Jesse Lewis, 1920. Well, I mean, this is the correct, it's Christiansburg, I'm not saying that it's not, but the article wasn't correct. Was donated to the city in 1994 by Robert and Ginger Chapman of Shelby County, but it was from
That's-
Christiansburg.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah, I would look for him.
So history on this, Lori mentioned it to me years ago,
Yeah.
Lori Saunders, because there's talk then to get rid of it. That's it, the color. And we actually talked about it, putting it up in the park, either on the cliff face, looking over the cliff into the creek. But we also talked in that V up there. Was it the V? Maybe the V right there where the fire training thing is. Only thing is we put on that property over there and we allow access. We're gonna have to pay you some money if people get steel that's sticking out of the ground and metals, and it'd be beautiful up there next to that little reservoir, but then the cost, maybe he can tell you something cheaper, but the cost that when I called around, it's gonna be like 30,000-40,000 to take it down, because they mark each little timber.
Yeah, they're gonna do, I mean, if it's salvageable, they're gonna do that, but that will not be in a cost that will be borne by us. It would fully be, and I mean, I haven't, obviously don't wanna speak for Georgetown, but I can't imagine they would be completely against maybe even giving us a small little amount of money to, $5,000 a year or something to keep it up. It might be worth asking for.
Yeah.
Since we're taking it off their hands, if we take it off their hands.
Yeah.
It's just something they're looking to do, and so we jumped at the idea, maybe we'll take it, so.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's set in stone or.
Cool.
They just get tours in them. I was a-
Yeah, we, Channing and I took tours of them, every year at elementary school. They cut that budget, but for $4,000.
So there's a.
They had
booming budget.
reenactors.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't unlock difference.
Well, they had reenactors in there. It was like a whole learning experience.
I just think it'd be so neat for Stanford Ground to have.
Upload days.
It'd be so.
I like it in front of school.
That's, I was gonna say, yeah, that.
That'd be really neat.
Yeah, I think it's
Especially
very
with the
appropriate.
bricks and stuff. You put
Bricks
it
around.
on, you've got to be
Yeah.
careful. They would be.
Have you ever seen Daniel Boone's Last Cabin?
Mm.
It's at Wentz Wildlife Sanctuary. They've got the brickwork around it. It's beautiful.
It would be neat, wouldn't it? Just kind of bring it all together.
I can't think of a better
Be
place
good
than in
for a
front of
Hallmark
school.
Christmas thing.
It would be really.
Now, if we wanted to put lights on or anything, that'd require a building permit though, right? So we just make sure it could pass the building.
Like electric light.
What's that?
permit, but like,
Okay, well, anybody have anything else? We can adjourn.
I'll second.
All those in favor? All right.
Hey, it's this little drop down and then leave, right? Or in me, and then.